I live near County Road 6, and this happened on a Friday night when I left home after a huge fight with my husband. I drove down the empty highway not knowing which way I was going. Then at one point, I had to stop because tears were clouding my vision. I cried like a 6-year-old, sitting in my car for hours, then finally decided to pull over for the night. After driving for a few more minutes, I found this moderately looking hotel on the side of the road. It wasn't very expensive, the staff was quiet and showed me to my room. I threw my bag on the dirty sofa and went to take a hot shower, thinking it would calm me down. But when I came back to that cold bed, stress caught up to me. I've suffered from sleep paralysis on and off since my early 20s. It only happens when I am emotionally overwhelmed. For those who have never had sleep paralysis, it's a horrifying state to be in. My mind stays awake while my body shuts down, trapping me in between. I pushed all those negative thoughts down and lay down on the bed. I was already exhausted, and not to mention emotionally drained, so within a few minutes I dozed off. For the first couple of hours, I slept like a rock, but suddenly I woke up. I knew immediately what was happening. My eyes were open, fixed on the ceiling. My chest felt crushed beneath a heavy, invisible weight. My arms and legs were numbly locked into place. My breathing came in shallow, panicked gasps that did not feel like they were getting enough air into my lungs. I realized I'm having another episode of sleep paralysis. The room felt colder than it should have been. The heater hummed weakly by the window, but the air against my skin was sharp, biting. At first, I noticed the bathroom. The lights were off. Immediately, I felt like something wasn't right in here. I never ever sleep in complete darkness. I clearly remember turning that light on before I went to bed. I also remembered hesitating at the switch. Now the bathroom doorway was filled with thick darkness. I was trying my best to wake myself up, but I knew I couldn't because it wasn't something I could control. I was waiting for the moment to pass by when I felt a gush of wind on my face. The windows were closed, and I was 200% sure that the wind came from above, like someone breathed on me. My eyes moved toward the ceiling vent. For a few seconds, I saw only darkness. Then I saw bright green eyes. They hovered in the shadows just inside the vent, fixed directly on me. I got into panic mode. I could see. I could feel the fear in my bones, but I couldn't get up. I tried convincing myself that it was all my imagination, and there's no one actually inside that vent. When the vent cover made a soft, metallic creak, it shifted slowly, bending outward by mere inches. Dust slid down onto my pillow in thin gray streaks. For the next few seconds, the darkness in the vent sent me into hyperventilating. I tried even closing my eyes, but I couldn't. I kept staring at the dark vent, still believing I imagined those eyes when a head slowly popped up. There was a man inside that vent now, and he was completely bald. His scalp reflected the faint outside light like polished bone. There were no eyebrows above those glowing eyes, no eyelashes framing them, no stubble, no pores. His face looked wrong in a way my brain could not process. His breathing was wet and heavy, echoing faintly inside the ducts. He just watched me for God knows how long. Then his shoulders pressed through. I heard his bones cracking as his upper body started coming down from the vent. I wanted to scream and run away as far as I could. But again, I was glued to the bed like a statue. Slowly, he dropped his arms down from the vent. It was too long. His fingers were thin and bony, the nails slightly darkened. His hand descended inch by inch. It was reaching out to me. My entire body got covered in sweat. But he didn't stop, just kept spreading his arm in my direction. I could feel cold rolling off my skin. The expression on his face was horrible. It was like he just wanted to get to me. My throat moved. No sound came. Suddenly, his index finger stopped less than an inch from my nose. He blinked for the first time, and then said in a raspy, demonic voice, "Most of them scream and leave, but you stayed. I like that." I was still trying to process that all of this was happening in my head when lightning struck right outside my window. My body jolted upright as I screamed, the sound tearing violently from my throat. The bathroom light was on, and as I looked at the vent, it was sealed. The room was empty. I didn't spend a second more in that room. Ran straight to my car and stayed in till sunrise. When the sun finally broke through the trees, I drove away to my sister's house. On the way, I told myself the same thing over and over, that it was all hallucinations. 3 weeks later, curiosity found me at 2 in the morning. I was staring at my phone. When I Googled that hotel, most reviews were about poor maintenance and weak Wi-Fi, but one review sent a shiver down my spine. Someone mentioned waking up in the middle of the night with the feeling of being watched from the vent. I also found a second one where the reviewer mentioned seeing a dream about a bald man. My hands started shaking. I had never told anyone those details. To this day, I do not know if what I saw was real, but sometimes when I lie awake at night, I feel a cold draft fall straight down to my face. It gets me a pill to fall asleep after that.